Hey crafty friends, Susie with Simply Creative Pages here. Have you ever come home from an event, whether it be vacation or a birthday party or whatever, looked at all of your photos and thought, there is no way in heck I'm getting all these pictures onto 2 pages? Everybody has that dilemma, everyone. Today I'm going to kick off a brand new series called Problem Solved. In each video we're going to tackle a common scrapbooking challenge, and today's challenge is one everyone has. Too many photos. Too many photos. Oh my gosh, so many photos. This is from my grandson's birthday, and he wanted to go to this climbing adventure, this ropes course. And of course, you know, we took lots of pictures, too many pictures, but I didn't want to delete any of them. I wanted to keep them all. This is, by the way, just for 1 page. The real thing here is that we don't want to see how many photos can I fit on a page, but what tells the story. This is a story about a boy who for his birthday wanted to go to these ropes courses and climb, and the progress of doing that and accomplishing it. His little brother's in several of the pictures. So instead of scattering them everywhere, group them together. If the layout makes it easier to follow, let maybe one picture be the hero. Or in this case, use these. These are called peekaboo pockets, and you can stick things multiple pages all together. I've had some where they've folded every which way and kind of folded out like a jack-in-the-box. But see how I've got a little happy birthday to you? I didn't want it to be overly birthday oriented, so I just kind of snuck the happy birthday to you, but kept the hiking theme in here. This happens to be a project recipe kit that Creative Memories no longer carries, but they have several on the website right now. They originate at $14 per kit, and as you can see, it makes multiple pages. And bargain alert, there are at least 3 on their website right now that are $7. So if you want to maximize your budget dollars, your crafting dollars, I would recommend going and hitting the sale items on Creative Memories. Let me show you how I created this particular set of pages. As you can see, it comes with several pieces of paper. I've already used some, a couple pieces of cardstock in each project recipe kit. There was a pretty caramel color and this beautiful green color, which I didn't even end up using the green. I used the caramel to back my photos. To tell our story, we always want the photos to be the hero here. So even though it's kind of a busy page, I chose this to be my background. Oops, there we go. Get that centered on there. Because by the time I add some of the other elements on here, this is going to kind of blend into the background. And this kind of helped tell the story of what happened that day. So I'm going to take one of the pages. This one's got some little hiking boots in the background, and then kind of like a topographical map on the other side. And I cut this down to 8 by 8. Oh goodness, I almost ripped that paper. See how already that's just making that busy background kind of disappear? All right. And then while I have this out, I'm gonna trim this down to, let me double check my measurements because I didn't write them down, 1 3/4 inches, because I'm gonna use the other side. Love double-sided paper. To create kind of a little border to just add some interest. Move that out of the way. I'm going to put that over there. There was a dark green forest paper where it had this bold print on one side and then these trees on the other side, and I wanted to use I really debated back and forth whether using these tire tracks, but they didn't do anything with tire tracks, or using this really cool arrow pattern here. This came in a secret box, by the way. Secret boxes are awesome. You just are always going to be guaranteed to get some cool stuff. And this was in one of them. And this makes a beautiful pattern over and over again. So I decided to use this up, and rather than waste the scrap, I'm gonna stick that in there. I know what you're thinking, Susie, that's not going to fit. It doesn't go to our magnet. I'm going to show you a little trick. If you stick a Post-it note onto your paper, it might be easier if we do that first. Stick a Post-it note onto your paper, it'll help hold the paper in place so that it'll reach the magnet, and then you can use your punch so you don't waste a nice, what is that, 1.5, 1.25 inch paper. Just slide that in there. This is our border maker system. This is $40.75, and it comes with a punch, like a little fence post punch. Of course, the new ones are white. This is an older one. So you pop that into there, and the little teeth here match up with the teeth on here, and then we're just going to slide it down and punch. Kind of locks in. See how it locks in? I'm going to lay this on top of here. I'm going to use repositionable tape, because then I can run right across it and not worry about it going through the holes. It'll just stick where it needs to. All right, that one's empty. We'll use this one. It's always good to have a backup, folks. And I'm just going to lay that right in the middle of that. I just thought that added a fun little element. Very outdoorsy. There we go. Because I still wanted to lighten up this page a little bit with that busy background, I had some pretty paper that was Creative Memories. It was in one of those secret boxes. It came with all kinds of wicker prints and wood prints and basket prints. Super cool. Get those out of the way. There we go. And for this, I just used my trimmer. I have the postage, I think it's called stamping. There it is, stamping. And it makes it kind of look like a postage stamp. So I just cut 3/4 inch on either side to just make that a little bit lighter. Let's see. 3/4 inch. And 3/4 inch. Oh, before I forget, take it out. So easy to swap those out. I have this about 1 inch in. All right, once I have that stuck down, just want to get this stuck down. I'm going to use glue on this one. I always like to use glue for paper and tape runner for photos. just know that when you stick the glue down, it's gonna be down, so be sure, which is why I like to use this thing, this gridded mat here, because then I can really line it up very well. There we go. All right, now to bring those photos in. I've already matted a couple of them. So I'm going to use the remaining piece of that caramel paper that I've got. I'm going to mat my photos onto that. There we go. And then, you know, you can save these scraps if you want and use them on other layouts. I don't use anything that small because if I did, I would not have room in my house. At some point you got to draw the line, right? Let me know in the comments, do you keep every single scrap and do something with them, or do you have a limit as well? For me, my limit's about 4 by 4, roughly. I keep anything around 4 by 4 and up, for the most part. I will say there's been times where I've used a paper to death and I'm like, I'm just done. This paper's done. All right, before I adhere those down, I wanted to show you, oh shoot, I've done this wrong. All right, let's change this one out here. Yay for repositionable tape. I wanted this one on the bottom because one of the ways that we can fit more photos on here, I mean, already I've gotten 4 pictures on here, right? Well, one of the ways we can get more pictures on here is by using the peekaboo pockets. They come in all kinds of sizes, all the way up to 6 by 12 even. And they are $7.50 for a package of, I don't remember how many, I'm so sorry. And then you just stick this in the peekaboo pocket. This is just a clear pocket, almost like a page protector. And it has a little adhesive strip here. I think the adhesive strip's on this side. Yeah, there we go. See, and then you just lift that up and then stick it down. So I'm gonna lay this here. No, I'm doing that wrong. I want it to go under. So I'm gonna lay this on top. And then I wanted to add a little hidden embellishment in here. And then I'm gonna center this, kind of angle it a little bit. And I'm gonna put that there so that when you flip it up, he can see birthday wishes. Oh, but before they do that, I think I wanna add a little, the other little, let's do the Born to Roam. And then a little footprint like that. There we go. Cute. All right, so I think I want that to cover. We went to Olive Garden afterwards, so that's the only picture of me that we took. So that way I am in the photo. Always make sure you're in the photos. You can't tell the story unless you're in the photos, right? Don't forget to include yourself in your scrapbook. We will not be here forever, and it's important that you're in the story. That lined up nicely on that 8 by 8 picture. I made the photos 3.5 by 3.5. The mats were 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and then I layered them on that 8-inch mat. And then I'm going to rip off my little adhesive strip there. Some people like to put this on top of their page protector. I probably should have too, but I'm not going to. Just going to lay that right on top of here. All right, so now so far I've fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I could have put a 6th photo right there if I wanted to, but I wanted that little message because I'm not going to do a lot of journaling on this page. But I still had 4 more pictures I wanted to get on here. So I'm going to actually make some of my photos part of my embellishment stack. Just want to add, again, all of this was in that kit. You sure get a lot. You get all that paper, you get a set of embellishments. I still have more to use. Let's see, and I think I want to put tie right here. I'm just itching to pop something up. You know I am. You know I'm dying. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I really like dimensionals. These little foam squares from Creative Memories are awesome. I just placed an order for more because can you believe it? I ran out. Or I'm running out. I know, it's hard to imagine, right? I think I'm going to use that right here at an angle. And he's not mad. This is just how he looks when you take his picture. Anybody else have 13-year-olds that are like that? And then I could either take these up and kind of cluster them up. Kind of like that. But I think I kind of like them on the bottom. I just matted these little 1 3/4 inch by 1 3/4 inch photos in white. Because again, that background paper is plenty busy. All right, there's a little picture of Leo. You can see through the trees. And because it was just mostly canopy, I really wanted some pictures of just the trees to be in there, just to, you can't see, but they're in there. Oops, that's a little too tall. All right. Now we'll just embellish. Let's see. So I'm using, this is my first embellishment cluster, and I just want to add to this a little bit. There we go. And then I had this cute little happy birthday sticker. Let's see, I'm treating this as an embellishment, I'm treating this as an embellishment, so maybe I'll make a little cluster up here. I think I'm done, folks. What do you think? What would you have done different? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. While we're on the subject, if you would like and subscribe, I would be honored if you followed along and saw what come up next. Here's the 2-page layout, and I was able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 pictures on a 2-page layout. And I don't feel like it's crowded. Maybe you disagree, but I don't feel like that's too crowded, and I feel like the story is still being told about this amazing day. This amazing day spent in the treetops in the forest. The kids had a good time, Mom had a good time, I had a good time. I did not go up into the trees. I'm a little too old for that. But it's just a beautiful way to be able to showcase the photos without overwhelming yourself. The next time you think I have too many photos, I hope you remember you don't have too many. You just need a plan for telling the story correctly. My name is Susie. I'm an independent Creative Memories advisor. If you don't have a Creative Memories advisor, I'd be honored if you shopped my link below. One less scrapbook problem, one more beautiful memory preserved. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.